All right, guys, an abbreviated show tonight, maybe 5 to 10 minutes here, because I don't have a ton of scores, but I just want to give a few updates on a couple of things I'm working on for tomorrow. And we will go through some of the scores tonight and some of the matchups, what things look like in the playoffs. We're brought to you every night by Capital Ortho, capitalortho.com. Yeah, sorry, I'm distracted. I'm watching, I'll get to that in a minute. I'm watching something on X. Watching Dave Portnoy in Starkville and with Brandon Walker, and I just sat down and I'm going through some of that, and it's funny. It's very funny. Um, but anyway, man, Brandon Walker's got like a 500,000 followers on X and has killed it. I'm happy for that dude. But that's off the point. That's a hot take. Also, something about the hoodie here. We could do that too, but um, brought to you by Capital Ortho, capitalortho.com, by Sound and Communications, soundcomav.com, by Malone Roofing Services, ecmalone.com, by The Rogue in Jackson. Stop by and check them out, and also by Country Pleasing Sausage and Country Meat Packers in Florence. Now, some of these scores tonight. Trim Maroon, let me tell you something, dude. What's up, boss man? I almost chickened out and didn't do this tonight since we're splitting the show from last night to this night, just because I don't really have any scores yet. I'm just sat down to go through some things. What I really need to be doing is I'll spend the rest of tonight going through these different brackets and the graphics. Several of you have asked me, am I going to do those for every class? The answer to that is yeah. I'm going to do every class. True Maroon, how funny is that though with B Dub on. So I'm seeing it again. That's funny. I'm watching Dave Portnoy in the suites at the Dude. I've had a chance to actually go through that place and kind of recruiting visit with one of my kids, and the stadium's awesome. But that's just very funny to see Portnoy there, and but Trumer, and follow Brandon on social media. Brandon's always big, huge West Point guy. If you don't know this about Brandon Walker, I don't know why we're talking about Brandon Walker here. Huge West Point guy and was always really good to me. But anyway, I digress. Back to some of the scores for tonight. I'll look up a few of these because we didn't have, your larger schools in play tonight. You had a lot of schools on the academy end that had buys in the first round of their playoffs that weren't in action tonight. And, that kind of is what it is. But we still have scores that are kind of trickling in. It's a little slower than normal. But I wanted to get to a couple of things, okay? I'll do full previews on the playoffs tomorrow. I'll go through, class by class, and I'll probably break those down individually. I try to keep them short. Don't want to get those really long. One thing I want you guys to do, I'm looking for players that are overlooked. Let me give you a good example. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly here. Ocean Springs has a running back named Solomon. I think it's Baguette. And sometimes when I'm watching video, you watch a video of a kid and it doesn't match the offers that kid has. And then you kind of question, okay, well, why is he getting the offers that he has and not the bigger ones when your eyes are telling you a different story? And, sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm not. A lot of times I'm right. Ahmad Hardy went through this a couple years ago, and now he's leading the SEC in rushing. But when you pull up the huddle of that kid, he's going to be somewhere larger than the offers he's getting right now. I think he has a chance to be a really, really good college football player. But I'm watching it wondering, why is he not getting that interest? I'm looking for people like that. If you have some, either DM me, email me, whatever, Chris Brooks at msgridiron.com, or on X, just at msgridiron. You're probably, most of you watching it here, or you can reply here on Facebook and I'll get it there. But I'm looking for a list of the 5 kids that I think are the most overlooked in the state, because I really like doing stuff for those kinds of kids and help them, in the recruiting process and help further it along. So if you have those, send them to me. I'm going to spend a good chunk of tonight going through each class one at a time, go through the matchups. For instance, like I'm looking at 6A here at the matchups that I find the most interesting. Like this Ridgeland and Grenada game in the first round. I think that has the potential to be a great game. I want to see what happens with Pascagoula and Terry. Um, I think both of those programs had really good years. I think that's a good matchup. I want to see what happens with the Picayune George County game. I don't expect Picayune to go through there, but they're coming off a loss, and I'm really not sure what to expect there. So we'll get into some of the matchups about that tomorrow, some college football, those type things. But send me the players that are the most overlooked because I'm doing some lists now that will be in our postseason awards. Make sure you get those to me. I'll go through all the scores tonight, get these up first thing in the morning, and work on the graphics for every classification with the updated scores from tonight. Okay. All right. Well, look, you guys have a good night. Like I said, this was going to be a short one. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow sometime. Not sure if I'm going to do those things live or not. Probably just going to record and put them up, but we'll see. Might pop in there live at some point. But y'all enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. God bless. And we'll talk to you guys later.